Hey, what's going on YouTube? Garnett here. After careful consideration and honestly just a ton of research, I'm finally happy with the current loadout of ratchets I have here in this box. So today we're going to go through each ratchet and what made them make the final cut. So let's check that out right now. So yeah, most of my ratchets are going to end up being right here, and as an affront or as a disclaimer, I only picked out metal handled ratchets because they fit in the holes of this style of toolbox, like a service cart. That's why they're all metal handled ratchets. That's all that will fit there. If any of those had a handle on her, I would have to dedicate drawer space for the ratchets. And being that this is one of the shallower carts, it's not super shallow, but it's not like huge like a snap-on big service cart or one of the bigger Cornwell mobile work centers. It's not like that, so I would have to dedicate drawer space for ratchets if they had handles. That's why they don't have handles. They're all metal handle. Moving on. The first one here is the Nepros, and this was one of the first Japanese tools I've ever bought. It cost me, I believe, $150, but I like it because it has that pad or that washer in the bottom of there, and it maintains friction on the head. So anywhere you move that head, it's the same amount of tension back and forth. The tension doesn't change there. And this, I will say that this is a premium product, and it was quite expensive. Like I said, 150, 120, something like that. But one thing I will note about this guy is that this is the only way I can pilot a quick release ratchet, because that quick release sits proud, and it's easy to actuate, and it's there, and you can hit it, and it's a nice spring. Even the Craftsman double detents that are infamous for just jumping off of ratchets when they want to, even the Craftsman double detent sockets will lock to this ratchet and do so firmly. Next up would have to be the super long snap-on. Now this is of the longest quarter-inch ratchets they make. The only longer one, I believe, is the one with the handle, which is a couple inch, and maybe an inch or two more in length. But as you can see, this one, being that it is a quarter-inch ratchet, is made a little different than the regular ones, because it has those screws that go through to the plate, just like the half-inch drive snap-on ratchets do. A little different. I think they do that because of the length. It needs to be a little bit stronger in the head area, but basically I only have this one for length, and I believe it cost me about $108, $118, something like that. But the back drag, though, pretty atrocious on that, and that's something I forgot to mention about the Nepros as well. The back drag, pretty bad. There are some times with both of these ratchets that you'll get to the end of a bolt or something and it just won't do it. So you have to end up using your finger. Moving on, it's one of my favorites. Get you up and close. The 90 Nepros 3/8 drive. Now this is one of those 3/8 and a quarter body, but it's not really a quarter body. It seems like they made this specifically for this application, and it's that this little tiny ratchet is perfect for palm ratcheting. You get in there, and it kind of like this larger section at the back here kind of like rests perfectly where you need your fingers. Sometimes you grab the head, naturally you grab the head here, or you grab the head here. This always lands on where one of your fingers would naturally want to be. The quarter-inch from them is nowhere near as thick at the back there as this one is, so I think it's a purpose-made one. But I'm still going to go ahead and call it a 3/8 and a quarter body. But just like that other one, teeth feel pretty good, pretty small, pretty nimble, easy to get into those tight spaces where you want to use your hand. For those of you keeping tally, that's 2 quarter-inch, and that was my first 3/8. Now moving on to the tried and true, this was my favorite ratchet till its older brother took its, or its bigger brother took its place. And this is the SK LP90. And I like it mostly because of that handle. See, that handle at the back there, I don't like when they get a lot smaller at the back there, because it kind of cramps my hand and it makes me feel like you know, they're giving me carpal tunnel on purpose. So I like when it's a little bit bulkier at the back here than at the front. And that handle is probably one of my favorites on a ratchet. You can hold it like this, or you can hold it like this with some sticking out. But I don't know, the 90 tooth back drag still pretty bad, because a lot of these ratchets are very tight, and the chrome on this guy, very nice, very nice. Moving on to its bigger brother. Now this is my go-to ratchet, and it is that same likes, dislikes from the smaller ratchet. Obviously, you got the nice purchase, you got the nice feel there. One thing I will note is that that other ratchet feels like it's a little thicker right here in comparison. But this one is a flex head, and it's a little bit longer, a little bit shorter than most of the flex head medium length offerings. It's, I think, 11 inches. But the reason this one is my favorite, I'm gonna tell you guys, let you guys in on a little secret. I only like flex head ratchets like this without a lock. And I absolutely will only accept that they require me to force their position. If you can see that, a lot of ratchets will just flop and go everywhere. And I don't like the extra bulkiness or added mechanism of a lock. So I like that the fork here is very tight to the head, and this head needs to be forced. And that is my requirement. You'll see that in a couple other of my ratchets here, but yeah, it will not flop, it will not move easily. It's just there. So that enables you to put a socket on there and position your tool to where you need it, and without the head flopping around. This is the only ratchet I have come across. Given I like the SK ratchet, this is one of the only ones I've come across that, you know, the mechanism here is super tight. Better than Snap-on. It definitely better than Snap-on. Snap-ons flops all over the place. Now this is one of those ones that I was, you know, experimenting, researching. Now I specifically like this one over the Matco one for one reason. One reason. If you are the type of person who always has oil on their hands, right? Now, like I said, I can't have handles. I think that's the best solution for you. If you get, you know, something with a rubber or plastic grip, it will provide a little more traction. But this has knurling directly on the handle, and it's nice, bulky, chunky, thick. The Matco version does not. Their handle design is a little different, but I appreciate the hell out of this. It's a longer form ratchet. I think this one is a 15er, so it's a little longer than my flex, and I use this for the medium jobs. Here is the snap-on. As you can see, my snap-on selection is pretty limited, and a lot of guys might scoff at that, but I only selected the ratchets that I like because these are the ones I like. I don't take, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to blindly select ratchets because other people like them. I'm just going to choose what I like. But this is the 17, if we can get you a nice picture of it, the 17er barely fits in my top tail. But you guys know why I have this ratchet. You know, there's been, you know, tests of this mechanism withstanding 250 foot-pounds, and at the time I was looking for ratchets, I think Snap-on was the only one that had a fine tooth long form ratchet like this. The Macs were not available. The SKs were not available. The Matcos, I absolutely despise those ratchets. I know people who have rebuilt the hell out of Matco ratchets. Listen, don't listen to those YouTube guys who tell you Matco ratchets are phenomenal. Just a little bit of advice, because you will be rebuilding that thing often. That's just my experience. Even with the ones I had. This is what I was talking about when I was at the SK ratchet. How small that radius or that circumference is, right where your pinky goes. That's uncomfortable to me, and that kind of makes me shy away from ratchets like this. This one is a newcomer, and it's a stahlwille made in Germany. Now this is the first made in Germany. Now there was two in the beginning made in Japan, but this is the first and only ratchet I have that is made in Germany. Now if you take a look at this handle, it is very much akin to Cornwell styling of a ratchet handle, but I get a feeling that they do not hand straighten these. They use a machine like any modern manufacturer should. And this center section here is nice and bulky, so it fills out your hand, and for a 1/2 inch I think that's necessary. If you can see, this switch here is nice, big, bold, proud, one of the biggest ones I have actually. And it's very easy to switch because they have made sure to recess it inside it's not sticking up, you know, past the head of the ratchet there too much. So they've made it so it's nice and low profile, but it's still nice and large, easy to selector switch here. Other than that, nice green quick release button. And yeah, that finish on this one actually provides you a little bit of grip. It gives you some purchase, like some traction. That the finish they got there, that semi gloss or satin, it gives you a little more grip than a standard chrome ratchet would give you. Moving on, we have the big SK, and now I have a 1/2 inch drive here, and I have this guy pretty much because the same reason I have that little one. It's an awesome ratchet. I love the handle. I love the shape of the handle. I love that you have to force the position. Look at this. And this one's even different than the smaller one. You gotta work to do this one, and I love it. You gotta force that thing. So when I need to put this 1/2 inch drive ratchet somewhere, and it's a heavy ratchet, I don't want the thing flopping around and moving like this by default to where I can't really get my socket in there. You know, I already don't want to hold this heavy ass ratchet, but then when your joint is super loose and flexing all the time, it's just so irritating. So that's why I picked up my favorite SK. And ask me how many times I've had to adjust that joint. 0. Just like on the other one, I've had to adjust that joint 0 times. It is forced into position, and I love that it is like that. So the snap-on obviously is tried and true, perfected over time, reliable, and yeah, you get what you get. 24-inch long, has that handle. Now, curiously enough, this handle on here feels like they developed this before any of the other handles, which this one feels comfortable. Every other drive size for the snap-on ratchet feels uncomfortable. It's just, I don't know. It's to me, it seems like it was like a little bit of an afterthought how it feels in a hand, and that's why I only have a limited selection of these snap-ons. But I have this because guess what? They're the ones, of the 24-inch ratchets that are fine tooth. When I picked this guy up, it was the most reliable one. The only reliable USA made option available that was fine tooth. So there you have it. That is all my ratchets. I actually forgot to show you. I was harping about the flex joint and didn't even show you. So this one, look at that. That is absolutely ridiculous that a ratchet can do that. Like, and when you put a socket on there, obviously it makes it so it's, you know, I don't like, that's a little much. And that's after I've adjusted this joint probably like 5, 6, 7 times. And it's still, you know, not up to my standards. I would like it to be a lot tighter than that. You put a socket on there,
it flops around.
But that's it. That is my ratchet collection in its entirety. As always, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more videos. If you like, you can check out my social medias, which will be linked below, or even my support links, which are also linked below. But that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.